Good morning. Good afternoon. Hello, everyone. It is Nunday, Nunday Sunday. Are you there? Just wanted to touch base for today before we all get out there in the world. I'm about to leave my house and go junk store hunting for some fireplace tools. So that's pretty exciting. There's Marla. Hi, Marla. Just you and me, sister. We've been having a blast all day talking about next steps on our journey and creating new things in the kitchen. And I'm telling you, Marla Silly has got a wild imagination. She's put together some things that I just can't wait to see. Stuff I would have never thought of. So this is why you have two crazy women working with you. Hello, everybody. Hi, Trisha. Good to see everyone. Come on in. Invite your friends. You know what happens on Monday, right? Yeah, you do. On Monday, there's going to be two of these crazy books going out. The Saving Dinner the Low Carb Way. These are the last of the low carb books. Then I'm going to start giving out some holiday books, even though they're not exactly, right on top of things. They're close. And speaking of holidays, for those of you who are in my sprint group, and for those of you who are in any of my other groups, oh hey Denise, that's one of my grads right there. I'm super proud of Denise. Anyway, for whatever's coming up, I've got a keto Thanksgiving diet or Thanksgiving menu coming up, and my daughter is taking pictures of everything, and it's going to be incredibly gorgeous. Now, while this is keto per se, it is hot melt friendly. It's also somewhat of a hot melt cheat, because in it there's going to be a dessert, because it is Thanksgiving, which means there will be stevia, which is fine. But for people who have sugar dysregulation, well, you know the story with that. So I'm just letting you know that it is not going to be sprint friendly, but it will be hot melt friendly in that there are occasional things. So there will be some of that in it. There'll definitely be some cheese. We have this cauliflower au gratin that's just ridiculously off the hook. It's a holiday, and so I love bringing this in. This will be a free thing for everybody to get. It will be available on our website, and it'll be going out really, really soon. We're working on everything right now, but the recipes are to die for, and you will love them. It will make you feel like you're having a regular Thanksgiving, Just make a batch of Muzzy's stuffing that you get all the time. This is my legendary stuffing recipe that's been out there it's my mother's recipe, so it's been around for 50 years at least. She's always made the same recipe, and listen, you'll be able to do Thanksgiving and stay on top of what you're trying to do right now. So that's really good news, right? The other thing that I wanted to mention is that the Hot Melt Club is still open. The special thing that we had going on is gone. However, you can still get into the club. You can still get the yearly subscription, and you can still get the consult with me. That's a one-on-one, 30 minutes, you and me. I go through your whole entire questionnaire, because you have to fill that out first, so that we can get really granular on what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Because I know and realize and recognize after 25 plus years of doing this, that everybody is an individual, and we need that individuality and that individual kind of one-on-one thing to really dial things up and to get things going. So if that's something that you're interested, go to savingdinner.com/webinar. You can watch the webinar. The code is no longer available, but you can at least watch the webinar and get all the information and find out more about the club, and it's good stuff. In that too, by the way, we are going to do, this is Take Back Your Life. This is a journal for women who are desiring more and want to up-level everything. And here's the thing that you need to look at. We can do things in 90-day pieces of time, rather than looking at yearly goals. Yearly goals are overwhelming and nobody accomplishes them. So, but in 90 days, we can look at things and we can take a big goal and chunk it down. I mean, this is how we eat elephants, right? You've heard of that. So that's what this is all about. And if you are a yearly member with the Hot Club, in the Hot Club, in the Hot Melt Club, I can't say it. If you're a yearly member, this will be coming in the mail to you. If you are a quarterly member, we have the PDF available. How about that? And I have a workshop that goes with it that's all recorded and ready for you to go through and to do it. And I'm going to do some more work on that because it is so critical. One of the biggest things, and you know this, one of the biggest things to move the needle, it's getting your mindset on. Without that mindset piece, you're history. You know, it's not going to happen. And I've shared this with you. One of my favorite David Bear quotes is that I know that that life is always working on my behalf. And I believe that with all of my heart. And I also believe that you are unique and that you are unrepeatable and that you have a magic that is all your own. That's another quote that I love so much. You have a magic that's all your own. And in conjunction with that magic comes power to execute on it. And I love that part too, because when we can execute with our power and stay in our own zone, our own special, unique zone, that's when the magic starts to happen. That's when the switches start going off. That's when we're dialed into our uniqueness, our purpose in life, and things just magically unfold in front of us. Isn't it so incredible? And you know, I know this from personal experience. You can feel it. You can feel when those things are happening. But there's a lot of things, a lot of things that you need to do in order to get into this place, to get your reticular activating system in place and to see the evidence for the decisions that you've made so that you can go forward and you can create the purpose and power in your own life. And yeah, so, you know, we are talking about diet. We are talking about food because it's important. And I promise you, you're at never at any point are you ever going to stop needing to eat. You know, you do need to stop eating stuff that's harming you and causing you pain and suffering. You do need to stop doing things, you know, stop eating for sport and recreation. You do need to start thinking and being mindful about every single meal that you eat. And if you're eating with gratitude and mindfulness and you have the target trifecta in place, you'll notice there's a shift in your thinking about food in general. And this is so important for those of us who are addicted. It's so important for those of us who've had addictive personalities and have either struggled with the garbage or the sugar or the salty or the whatever. We've binge eaten, we haven't eaten, we've purged, we've done all the things. We've caused our bodies damage. So we have to go back and we have to start correcting the damage. And speaking of that, I also wanted to talk to you today about just staying the course, for heaven's sakes. Staying the course. Jan says, when can we expect that in the mail? Well, everything's in process. And just understand, Slow Boat to China, we send things out library mail. Library mail means it'll come to you when the post office is good and ready to give it to you. I have discovered about library mail or media mail, whatever you want to call it, that what they'll do, sometimes you'll get it in 4 days and sometimes it'll take a week or 10 days. Not sure. So here's the thing you need to do. Just be expecting it in the mail. In the meantime, download the PDF. You were sent a gigantic email that has all the things when everything is opening. When the Facebook group is opening, when you can expect the first teachings, when you can get the stuff going. But it is now important. This is how you can educate yourself and get ready for your first 90 days. It's interesting that we're coming up with the holidays and everything, and this is going to be helping you with all of these holiday temptations. So we're going to be talking about that. But first I want to talk a little bit about addiction and a little bit about staying the course. Addiction is one of those things that happens to the best of us. And what I have found is that addiction fills in the space of pain that we felt in the past. Have you noticed that? It numbs us. It keeps us from having to deal with the pain. And even if we've dealt with it, and even if we've dealt with our abandonment issues, our traumas, or whatever, it still is there, and it connects the dots between the pain that we're feeling and the pain that we're trying to avoid. It's kind of strange, but it's true. And the other thing that happens when we are dealing with it, with this kind of stuff, is that we don't oftentimes see this. We don't see this, and we just think that the problem itself is the food that we're eating. And while, yes, that's part of the problem, and they have its own addiction reasons and its own addiction and body chemistry stuff that happens when we eat these particular foods, we still have a mental connection to them, and that mental connection has to be broken. We have to do that. And this is when your grown-up self can talk to your 4-year-old self and explain that that was then, but this is now. Our now is so important, because our broken 4-year-old, our abandoned 4-year-old, is a broken little kid. But we can pick her up. We can hug her and love her back. And the more self-care that we have for ourselves, the more awareness that we have, the more that we're making our mealtime meaningful and mindful, the more we can break these addictions that we have had in the past. They don't have to hold us hostage anymore. We don't need to be caught in that super crazy carousel of crazy. You know the carousel of crazy, around and around and an up and a down, and on it goes, and it doesn't stop. But you have the power to unplug that when you have some understanding to put with the addiction, and also with your mindset, your new improved mindset, your mindfulness, your meaningfulness, and all the things that you add and put into what food means to you now today. Because unlike an alcoholic, you can't just walk away from food. You can't. You can walk away from a whole bar and a whole, vineyard of wine, But what you can't do is you can't walk away from food. You can fast, intermittent fast. I strongly recommend it. It's so good for you. It helps to reset those hormones that have just gone crazy, that need to be brought in and corralled. You can drink a lot of water and hydrate yourself so that your body is getting the necessary hydration and isn't confusing being dehydrated with being hungry all the time. You can eat properly. You can add in all the elements of everything that we've talked about from the Sprint diet. But your mindset needs to also be dealt with. You can't negate that. It's never, ever going to ever be about a diet or a plan or a this or a that. That is a vehicle. It's a vehicle. It will get you there. But your mindset piece, now that's a whole different thing. And this is how we start getting to the place where we can get on track and start dealing with our addiction. And I'm going to tell you something, that this is really important, because I've read so much about addiction. I have been to counselors myself and been through a lot of counseling. And what I've found is it is a very individual track. A very individual track. And your pain and my pain are two different things. And your pain and my pain are going to be dealt with in two different ways. And this is because you are who you are and I am who I am. The only thing that I would ever say to you to maybe shake you up and get you out of your, downward spiral is that staying sorry for yourself and feeling sorry for yourself and playing the victim card will never get you to where you want to be. Because there is a truth in what was her name? Who said it? I can't remember. You can be powerful or you can be pitiful, but you can't be both. You can't. You can make a decision and flip the switch and say, pitiful's it's not very attractive. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be around people who are whining and crying and talking about the same thing over and over again and putting no action behind that stuff. When they don't put any action behind that stuff, then what are they? They're a complainer and a whiner, and they have nothing to add to your life except taking away a lot of your time. So don't you be that person. And if you love this person who's doing this to you right now, that's right, Joyce Meyer, thank you. If someone is in your life like that, you have an opportunity to really talk to them and love them up. To talk to them and love them up and show them why what they're doing is never going to take them to where they want to go. It never does. As a matter of fact, that's where your energy goes. You have so much energy in a day, and you have to determine Where am I going to shoot that energy? I know what I want to do. I want to put my energy my toward my relationships. I want to put my energy toward my work. I want to put my energy toward myself. And if I'm doing all of that and it's all constructive, I am building something that's a legacy I get to leave behind. You know, my legacy will never be my jeans or what color lipstick I wore. Just like I said in Body Clutter, it'll never be that. My legacy is going to be what I leave behind. And it might not be something that you inherit necessarily. It might not be a big bank account, but it will be something that my family can take forward. It'll be something that I hopefully leave, every single person I've ever touched in my life. It'll be something that they'll say, I remember Leanne because she blah, 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 and something positive. We are creating our legacies now, ladies. We are. I don't care how old you are. I'm 60. For me, at 61, I think about that stuff. And my legacy going when I leave and when my daughter and son is taking on, I hope that they look back and they say really great things about me. We all get on into the sprint because of, I would say probably 90% of us, because of the way we look. We see ourselves in the mirror and we're disheartened. We don't remember this. Who is this woman? How come I'm wearing these size jeans? Where did this wrinkle business come to? What's this? What happened to my neck? I mean, we do all of these things as we get older, right? But that is just a small portion of who we are. Who we are is at the core of who we are. And who we are is what people say about us. One of the best things that ever happened in my life was what my daughter wrote this beautiful thing about me on my birthday. This is my mom, and this is what she's about. And she wrote some lovely things. And I thought, wow, thank God, I've done something right here. But that's how we can be when we're living mindfully. That's how we can be when we take off the pitiful attitude and we put on the powerful attitude. And it's really, really contagious when you're powerful and you're standing confident and you are moving in action and doing things. People treat you differently. Have you noticed that? And if anybody's noticed that, do let me know. Because I have noticed that in my life, and I've noticed that I also attract in those very things that I want in my life when I am a certain way. When I'm pitiful, I just want to go hide and be by myself and go sit in a closet and, cry. But let me just tell you at this point in my life how often that happens. One is very rarely, and two is I don't let it happen for more than 5 minutes because I know there is just no way out of that. It's pathetic. Pitiful is pathetic. And there's no way you have to stay there. At any point, you can say, that's enough of that. This is ridiculous. I don't need to be doing this. What I need to be doing is doing things that are going to lift me up. You know what it is, right? A rising tide lifts all boats. And you can be the rising tide when you're standing in your strength, when you're standing in your power, and you bring up all the little boats around you. That includes your family. Because being a pitiful mom, what a drag for your kids. What a drag for your spouse. And what a drag for you, because you have to listen to yourself. And, to borrow from that woman, what's her name? Rachel Hollis, girl, go wash your face. Yeah, go wash your face. Go wash your face. Go take a shower. Do your hair. Put a little makeup on. Start treating yourself with the same respect you want others to treat you with. And I will say this right now. If you aren't treating yourself with respect, doing some self-care and taking care of yourself, feeding yourself properly, getting enough sleep, hydrating yourself, and doing all the things that you need to do for yourself, nobody else is going to treat you well. They're not. They're going to know, oh, this is one we can run over. Don't be a woman that can be run over. Be a strong, strong woman. Stand in your power. Stand in your power. Take a look at Wonder Woman. See how she stands? She's ready to go get them with those ching ching, with those bracelets. Man, she's standing there. She's got her feet apart. She's got her hands on her hips. And it's like, don't mess with me. And that's who you need to be. Don't let anybody mess with you. No one. Your kids, your spouse, anybody around you, don't let anybody mess with you. Be strong. Be courageous. Walk in your truth. Walk in your power. That's who you need to be. That's who you need to be. You cannot be anybody else. And one of the things, if you have anything holding you back, if food addiction is holding you back, please read Body Clutter. Body Clutter is the book that Marla and I wrote when we first discovered this. It was time to do something about our particular body clutter. She had her issues, I had mine. They needed to be dealt with, and we did. We dealt with them here. Don't read anything about the nutrition information in here because it's all way out of date. It's 15 years old. The research has come in and completely changed that. So just give me grace on that one, because, I will tell you, we only know so much about nutrition, and we are always learning more. And as we learn, I look at the research, and that's how I go forward with everything. Somebody asked me today on our sprint group, well, you were paleo, now why are you keto? And this is what it is. This is the truth. This is how everything happened. I became low carb when I had so many customers saying, hey, I love Menu Mailer. That's what it was called at the time. But I'm going low carb. Can you help me out? This is in the early 2000s. So reluctantly, I created a low carb menu, and then I started reading a lot of information about being low carb. And I read Gary Taubes, and Gary Taubes had some really wicked things to say about carbohydrates and what they do to us. And I didn't understand the inflammation connection between sugar and between sugar and between carbohydrates, and how it affected toxic fat. And that toxic fat is around your belly, and that is toxic fat. And there's different kinds of fat. I learned a lot. So as we learn and as we find the research out, we of course implement those things. And my suggestion to you is, if you ever have a nutritionist or see somebody in the nutrition world and they're giving you the same old, like calories in, calories out, and telling you that fat's bad and that, it's just a matter of moving more and eating less, run. Those people are so out of touch, and they haven't read any research in at least 15 years. Run for your life. As a matter of fact, 97% of that kind of people, the people who make it through and do exercise more, do eat less, and are starving and have been tortured the whole way, 97% of them, they'll gain the weight back. That's just what the research tells us. So we need to go with that. What we're trying to do, and this is what my whole goal is to stop the diet business entirely. Now, I've got steps. I've got ideas, and I've got different clubs and this, that, and the other. You know why I'm doing all of this? I'm doing this. It's training ground. It's counseling. It's getting you there. It's going to be so that you graduate and I send you off on your merry little way and you are equipped. You know what to do. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. You know exactly what to do. You are no longer going to be a victim, to the nutritional guru mentality that's out there, because you trust your own inner nutritional guru, because you've trained her. You've trained her to be mindful and to pay attention and to know what's going on, specifically with you. You've learned that you're unique and that you're an individual, and just because it worked for this gal doesn't mean it's going to work for that gal over there or you. And you've learned how to dial it all in so that it does work for you. That is what I'm training you to do. That's what I'm training you to do. And you will, hopefully you'll read our next book. Marla and I are working on our next book. And that next book is about not just the weight loss, but just about who we are as women in this stages of our lives and how we go forward. How we go forward with this kind of information so that we're never in this place again of being on the carousel of crazy. Constantly on a diet, constantly searching for the next guru, watching TV and ordering books that are just going to sit on our shelves after we get through the first few pages and say, that'll never work for me. How many diet books do you have? I want you to start putting some numbers in the comments. I want to see. Because listen, diet books have become like cookbooks these days. People collect cookbooks because this is here's a really good cookbook on how to cook. Here's a really good cookbook on putting dinners together. Here's a really good, I have a lot of cookbooks. I don't have just my cookbook. Nobody has just one cookbook. Caitlin says she only has 0. Good for you, Caitlin. Yeah. Doctors are not trained about nutrition. Susan, right on. They are not. They are given one class on nutrition. And I could run a doctor, a traditionally trained doctor around and around a room. Believe me, I have that. Allison says she's got 20 books. Debbie says she's got 4. Very few. But this is the thing. Most of us do have a lot of diet books. I got rid of all of mine. Now, listen, I get books sent to me all the time because I get people asking me for a kudo, a recommendation on the back of their book. So this is what happens. This is how it works. They send a book right before it's been published. It's called a galley. It's an unedited final copy kind of a thing. They do a couple more edits, and they're looking for recommendations. So I get a recommendation. I give a recommendation to the book and put it in, and that's what it is. So I had a whole shelf full of these galley books with all of these different things, and a lot of them I've recommended because there's a lot in there that are pretty good. There's some in there that are pretty good, but there's also some in there that they're just not going to help you out very much. And I've read a few of them, and some of them I have written back and said, you know what, I can't recommend this book. I'm sorry. That's the honest to God truth, because that's how you have to do it. You have to lead with an honest evaluation of, does this work or does this not? And sometimes it just doesn't. So anyway, that's what I have for you today. And just a quick, simple nun day. Usually it's no makeup. But I have no hair. I have no bra. Whoop. And the makeup is just on because we are going to be going out of the house here shortly. And I don't want to scare the world off. So one thing I want to tell you is we are doing something that I've got lots of information about, and that is we are switching distribution companies and bringing it in-house. Literally, we're bringing it in-house. And Mark is going to be 100% running our distribution. That means things are going to go faster. One thing I want to tell you right now, though, is take advantage of what is in our current inventory with our distributor. We just got everything back in stock, and help us get cleaned out. Right now, it's free for shipping. I cannot guarantee that. We are evaluating that right now. And so I thought, you know what? I'm just going to give you all a heads up. So if you have any supplements that you want to get them now while shipping is free. I cannot guarantee that that's going to be happening once we bring our distribution in-house. There you go. That's just the way it is, my friends. So don't forget, on Monday, that's tomorrow. Can you believe it? I've got 2 of these books. 2 that are going to be given away. Then we're going to go into the holiday books. The way you win these books is by sharing this broadcast. It's that simple. And in the sharing of the broadcast, what you need to do is you need to put it on public instead of just to your timeline. Publicly share it and say something about it. When you say something about it, that means that I know that you are paying attention. Yeah, I like to know that. That just makes it really good. Will international shipping be free? Oh, absolutely not. Do you know how much international shipping costs? International shipping costs me just to send to Canada. It's usually about $30 to $40. And I cannot afford international shipping. So sorry. And there's customs, there's all kinds of stuff. I'm happy to do it. And what we do with international shipping is we hold the order, we email you, we tell you how much the international shipping is going to be, and bada bing, bada bang, it's a done deal. Kimmy's asking from home. Yes, Kimmy, we have downstairs in our ping pong room, well, adjacent to the ping pong room, the woman that owned this house had a chocolate making factory. She made chocolate. So we have a little kitchen all set up, and we have storage all set up. And it's this is Marla's idea, and she is right. I mean, considering, that Mark is here, he's taking care of the inventory and everything anyway, we might as well bring it in-house. We've ordered all our supplies, and we're going to do it ourselves. it's just one more way that we can stay on top of things and make sure things are being done right. We've had, this is what happens when you take things outside of your own bounds. We've had people get double orders, and those are the honest ones who have been telling us that our inventory's been off forever. We can't keep up with it, and this way we'll be able to keep up with our inventory, and we'll have to know what's going on. So we've had people getting double orders. We've had people getting things that are from another company that's not even ours. And every time we've had to deal with this stuff, and every time it's just been a mess. I don't have time for that. Do you have time for that? Mm-mm. So if you want it done right, sometimes you do have to do it yourself. And we have the ability, we have the room, and we have the smarts. Mark is used to this. When he was years ago, he used to have to take care of inventories for a big chain. So he understands how this all works. So I'm very blessed with that, and I'm excited to bring it in-house. Plus, we've got two new supplements that we're going to be introducing that I cannot wait for you to have, right? The one that I'm really excited about is Beauty Support. Can you tell is my skin nicer? I've been using it at night, and it's a supplement that has different compounds in it that help you to build your own collagen. Because it's one thing to drink collagen like we do with our L-glutamine, with our smoothies and with our bone broth, but it's another thing entirely to be able to give our body the materials that it needs in order to do it itself. So you'll find out all about that. New stuff coming all the time, and we have the ability to do it now. So hey, let's do this. Let's really get on top of it. So this week is tomorrow is Monday. I want you to get yourself together today and start writing your menu for the week. If you haven't already, start preparing for the week if you haven't already. And listen, you don't have to do the sprint in order to have bone broth available all the time. You don't have to do the sprint in order to eat a whole lot of salad, but you should be. The more greens that we get in, the less nutrient deficient we're going to be, because that's where the big deficit is. I've got sprouts still growing on my countertop. And just because the sprint is over, listen, all you have to do is take those same principles and add them into your daily life. Stay away from the garbage, stay away from the sugar, and bring those healthy, nutrient-rich foods in, and watch how your body changes and up levels. Now, this Thursday coming up at 2 p.m., if you are in the Hot Milk Club, I want you to be in our Facebook group. It will be open by then. You need to be in the Facebook group because this is when we're going to, I think that is right, the 28th. Is that right? Yes. Well, the 28th it opens. That's Monday. And on Thursday, that's when I'm going to be doing the Hot Melt Club's first teaching and coaching call. I can't wait. It's going to be really, really fun. Listen, I want to tell you about Marla Who's Ready. No, I can't. I'm not going to rain on her parade. She's going to tell you at tea time, I know. But wait till you see all the things she's done. And the combinations that she's put together are blowing my mind. Because I would have never thought, when she said, yeah, and I put hot milk mix in this, and I mixed this with this, I'm like, I would have never put that together. And she said, it's really tasty. Who knew? So listen, if you are an experimenter and you do anything with any of my supplements, you need to tell me about it, because I want to hear about these combinations. I just can't even put them together. So one of the things that Marla's done, because she said you can tell them. Yes, I can tell you. One of the things that she's done, she's taken the unflavored collagen that we have, which is the Perfect Paleo Protein unflavored, and she's mixed that with the Fiber Mender. She's mixed it with hot melt mix, of all things, hot melt mix in there, and water. What else have you put in there, Marla? I can't remember, but she's making these collagen shots, because remember I told you about collagen loading in the webinar and how important that is? She's making collagen shots. And I just think that is one of the most brilliant things I've ever heard, because if we collagen load and we're intermittent fasting and doing all this keto business at the same time, our skin is going to really show it. So we got to collagen load. If you are losing weight quickly, you got to take care of that collagen, sister. Got to take care of it. That comes with L-glutamine. It comes with bone broth, and it comes with the collagen that we have, the perfect paleo protein. And you can do that and even dirty fast with that and keep the calories low and just watch what happens. Crazy. Not milk. Oh yeah, you put MTC in, but almond milk you probably put in. I know you didn't put regular dairy milk in there. There's no way you would do that. She put MCT oil in and a little avocado as well. So it's Target trifecta with these shots. Target trifecta. She's got the fiber, she's got the protein, and she's got the fat. Boom. I can't wait. And I'm going to go steal one of them, Marla. Sorry. I'm on my way down to your house soon. All right, you guys. Listen, fabulous Sunday. Have a beautiful Sunday. I promise you, as soon as we get a little more pop of color, I am going to take you outside and do my show outside and give you the panoramic view of these beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains. The colors are just starting right now. They're starting to pop. And this week we're supposed to be peak. I have a feeling it's going to go a little bit later than that. But listen, I can't help but share that. And if you need something glorious to feast your eyes on, I've got just the thing. So hang in there with me and see me. I'll see you next week, right? Don't forget to share this podcast. Or what is this? No, it's a Facebook Live. I don't do podcasts. Don't forget to share this. Share it publicly so I can see. And we give away books on Monday. And don't forget, if you want free shipping, now is the time to get your supplements. I don't know that we're going to be able to do free shipping from here. If we are, I'll let you know about that too. But just get them now. Now's the time, now's the time, now's the time. Do it. And that's it. That's all I have for you today. And I will have a new quote. I lost my quote of the week. I don't even know where it is anymore. Somebody was asking me for it, but I lost it. It's on a 3x5 card somewhere on my messy desk. We are getting rid of paper clutter right now, aren't we? Peace. Thanks for joining me today. Share this broadcast, and I will see you tomorrow. And I'll see you at tea time too. Bye.